Hey guys, on to the final two tasks on this Bajazzo. So the first one is to make a reproduction of the logo that goes just above the grill. So this is the first attempt. I'm not sure how this is going to go, but what I've done is a colleague on the Goldbar forum in the UK very kindly sent me some close-up photographs of the logo on his set. So what I've done is I've made if you like, I mastered that in Photoshop to get a reasonable contrast, and made a life-size copy. And so I'm gonna, my first shot is going to be to use the same techniques used for inlaying shell on a guitar fretboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that to this piece of acrylic, and then with a very fine cutting down cutter bit, I'm going to see if I can route around all the letters, because the way this logo works, for those of you who haven't seen one, is the lettering is raised about 1 millimeter above the back. So I gotta basically route away all the material all around. I don't have a huge number of down cutter bits, but the 3/64 one is probably going to be okay. So I'm going to give it a shot with that, because that is basically will fit in the sort of between the horizontal parts of the letter E, and so we'll give that a shot. I have a 1/32 one, which is really small, which I'll just maybe do for the corners and stuff. The problem with routing on this acrylic is heat melts it. So I'm not sure how this is going to work. I'll give it a shot, because theoretically you need to run the router a bit as slow as you possibly can, so it's not going to be melting this stuff. But if you do that, you increase the chances you're going to snap off the down cutter, and they're not cheap. Anyway, so first things first, we gotta clean this off, glue this on, and then see about routing around it. I'll probably glue it in the center of the piece here, so that as I move the router around, the base will always be on the same. If I put it over near the edge, then obviously when I'm routing, the router will tend to tip over the edge. So it probably means wasting a lot of the acrylic material, but hey, if we get a decent logo out of it, we're good. So that's the plan. We're going to give that a shot and see how that works out. Okay, so what I've done here is I've just stuck the paper down with super glue, and then I've put a coat of super glue on top of the paper, so that the whole thing, when it's completely hard, will be nice and solid. Because what I found in the past, when you route against a paper template, no matter how sharp your cutter is, it will tend to fluff up the paper when you try and cut it, and you lose sight of your line basically, and especially with something this small, that's going to be particularly problematic. So let this dry off, and then we'll give it a go and see whether this technique is going to work, or whether we'll have to find something else. Well guys, this is a bust. This didn't work, so I'm going to abandon this. It's just not accurate enough, which is a shame. So put this down to learning. The only other technique I think that might work for this logo, it's not going to be a perfect solution, but is to basically do something that works on the basis of photo etch, acid etch. So maybe if I get a bit of circuit board and etch it onto the copper, and then paint the background black, maybe it'll certainly will look more accurate. It just won't have the same level of depth of embossed. So unless you guys have other creative ideas, I think that's what I'm going to shoot for as idea number 2 for making a logo. Okay guys, so this is my attempt at making the B+ battery case. So this is just 4mm ply cut up and lots of hot glue. So no artistry particularly involved in this. Just some scrap wood I had lying around. So probably what I'll do with the final surface is I'll just put some heavy tack tape to hold it on so that I can replace batteries in the future. Yeah, I think 9 volts we'll find a way of fitting them in there without too much grief. And all I got to do is, I mean, this is just a test print. I'll print off the final ones on some sort of heavier, probably glossy paper. But I'll use this for just dry fitting and testing how well it fits around the box that I've made. So that's the idea, just a tape hinge so that I can put the batteries in, and then I'll just put 1 or 2 pieces of tape on this side to hold it down, and then we'll go from there. So just doing a dry fit of the label. It'll require a little bit of fitting because my box is not exactly the same size, but it's very close. I haven't been able to find yet the proper connectors here, so I'll leave that hole drilling until right at the last moment, and hopefully I can find the right type of connectors to go on there. And it seems that when I print the final version of this label on some glossy paper, I'm going to have to glue it all up in such a way that it's not in any way stuck to the box, because I'm going to need to be able to get the box out of there to change the batteries at a future date. So yeah, it probably require a little bit of finagling, but yep, it'll work.